Hello everyone and welcome to the Florida Tips for Brits podcast. I'm your host Andrew.
And I am Kirsty.
And welcome back, Kirsty.
After, I had a break last week.
A little week off because you don't much care for Halloween, do you?
No, but I am representing this week with my Florida t-shirt.
I'm glad to see you come back strong with a Florida t-shirt at least. Really here to represent. So today we're going to be talking about something that you are very much au fait with. We're going to be talking about, well, what are we going to be talking about?
We're going to be talking about kids' rides in Walt Disney World, aren't we?
Yes. So specifically, the best rides for kind of little ones in your party. We're talking younger kids now, the toddlers, but also, I mean, this carries on straight through to older kids, of course, but and we're going to be talking about the rides that can be found at all 4 theme parks. So we're going to be covering all 4 of the major theme parks in this, Disney theme parks, and just going through all the rides that we think the best for little people, because we know a little bit about it because we've got lots of little people. We've got 5 children, haven't we? Various sizes.
We're very experienced in finding rides for the younger ones, because whenever we've been, we've always probably had at least one member of our party that is on the younger side, so we've had to kind of keep them entertained as well. And yeah, we've compiled a list, haven't we? We
have. It's quite
some of the favourite rides for the kiddies.
I've got notes because there's a little bit to talk about here, because obviously we are going to cover all 4 theme parks as well. So get a cup of tea or a different beverage, whatever your choice is. Mine's coffee today. I've got coffee. You got a drink today?
I have some squash. Got a squash. Because this one might take a little bit just to get through all the various things. But these are the ones that our children have enjoyed, and we think that your kids would enjoy as well. So I'm going to get things started, and we're going to start by, we might as well start at the Magic Kingdom. Now, the Magic Kingdom, let's just get this out of the way, is, in my opinion, the best theme park of them all in Orlando, including Universal and all that lot, if you've got those younger kids. Because, as you'll see from the rides on this list, many of the rides do not have a height requirement. So it's the perfect park, isn't it, to go to when you've got younger children? Yeah,
so like Noah, he's 4 now, but his first ride when he was a baby, he was 6 months old, was Pirates of the Caribbean. That was his first ever ride at Disney World. So, in fact, I don't think I've actually got Pirates of the Caribbean on this list, but you can ride it. So that's just an example, you know. There's lots and lots of rides that kids can do. So the first one I'm going to say, though, that I would recommend if you have got kids is Peter Pan's Flight.
Yeah.
Which is in New Fantasyland at the Magic Kingdom.
I really like that ride as well, even for adults, though. I love it.
It's certainly got, it's huge nostalgia for a lot of the older people. And by older, I mean just like adult people. But it's a lot of fun for the kids as well. It's kind of, it gives you the sensation of flying. So maybe if you've got a kid who's really scared of heights or something, maybe this wouldn't be the best ride. But other than that, it's pretty great. It follows the story of Peter Pan, of course. Peter Pan and Wendy, and there's lots of fun animatronics in there. With
Captain Hook and TikTok Croc, so...
Yeah, you get to see that.
I think Noah would like that, wouldn't he? I mean, did we even take him on that?
I think Noah might have been on it.
I think he might have been on that one, but I don't... Obviously, he's more into stuff like that now, though, so I think he'd really enjoy it. Yeah,
absolutely.
But also the theming on that ride as well. So for the young ones, there's a lot of theming in the line, in the queue. So you'd find it quite entertaining for younger ones. So there's always, you're kind of moving about. It's like you're moving from room to room, aren't you? And
you're going through the Darling's house, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I forgot what it was. So it's like you're in a house and you go into different parts, and there's all different things you can join in with. So
yeah, because on that note, the line for this ride can get pretty horrendous.
Yeah.
So just bear that in mind as well. Maybe it's one for, if you're going for the Genie Plus, try and get a Genie Plus, or either hit it first thing in the morning.
But even if the line's about, because I've often seen that line at around 45 minutes to an hour, but although that sounds like a long time, I think with the kind of interactive queue system and walking through the house, I think it's actually it goes quite quickly, because there's lots of things to look at and do.
there's a really fun bit with Tinkerbell in the queue as well, isn't there? Which is it's like you get a shadow on the wall, and Tinkerbell looks like she's flying around and things like that. So there's lots of
lights, and it was really good.
It's a fun line, but it can be quite long, so just be aware of that. The ride, on the other hand, is not a very long ride. It's only about 2 minutes long, 2.5 minutes, something like that. But it's a lot of fun, and no height requirement, so everyone can ride it.
Yeah,
it's a good kids ride,
like
or adult ride. It's a good one, just a good one all around.
So the next ride on our list would be again in Magic Kingdom, and that is Dumbo. And Dumbo would be Noah's favourite now, wouldn't it? Because he absolutely loves elephants.
Loves an elephant.
So yeah, this would be right up his street. And it's it's like I suppose a carousel ride in a way, isn't it? But you're flying with Dumbo. You're flying in a Dumbo-shaped vehicle, aren't you? So yeah, it's fun.
You board a flying elephant, basically, don't you?
Yeah. So
it's a roundy round ride, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's one of those classic rides, really. But it's almost like you've got to do it because it's Dumbo, and it's fun. Yeah, everybody loves it.
What I really like about Dumbo, again, you see how there's probably a theme running through a lot of these rides, and it's that the line for Dumbo is a lot of fun. It's probably one of the better lines if you've got younger kids, because what you basically do is you join the line, you get so far into the line, and then they basically there's like a kids play area, and you go on like it's not a virtual queue as such, but they give you like a pager, and you go in like a holding area, and you can go and do like the kids can go in the soft play and all that lot. So rather than just standing in a line for an hour or 40 minutes or whatever the case may be for Dumbo, they can go and like play, and then you just get called and you just join the last bit of the line. You maybe stand in line for like another 5-10 minutes and just board the ride. So you do have to have an adult with you, but again, no height restriction for this one. So it's a really it's a good fun ride, and you get some great views in the Magic Kingdom.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, because it takes you quite high up, and it's great views, isn't it?
It is. So the next ride on this list, and again, all these rides we're going to do, all these are at Magic Kingdom. We'll get Magic Kingdom out of the way, then we'll move on to the other parks. So we're still staying at Magic Kingdom, and it's going to be The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Now, this is what it sounds like. It's a Winnie the Pooh based ride, and you actually get on board a honey pot, giant honey pot, and it takes you through a whole story of Winnie the Pooh through the 100-acre wood, and everyone's there. You get Tigger there, you get Eeyore and Rabbit.
Is that the one with Tigger and you kind of jumping in your honey pot?
Yeah, the honey pot kind of bounces up and down.
I vaguely remember that one.
Yeah, it's another, and going back to the queue line. Quite a lot of fun in the queue as well, because you've got gophers that pop up in the queue, and
there's like screens with honey on.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's like running down, isn't it? And you kind of move it around.
But the ride's just a kind of dark, fun dark ride. Again, nothing too scary. There's one bit in it that's a little bit weird, where you go to the Heffalumps and Woozles bit, which I think...
Did it scare one of ours once? I seem to remember.
It's a little bit weird, but for the most part, it's just a nice, fun ride. Also, there's a bit of thunder and lightning at the end, which I guess if you've got a child who's particularly frightened of thunder and lightning, that might not be great for them. But I think it's a really good fun ride. And it doesn't tend to have like a horrendous wait time, so it can be a nice thing to do that's not going to, it's got a good interactive fun queue, and it's not a very long line, but the ride's a lot of fun. And again, no height restrictions, so basically anyone can ride it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I definitely would go on that one again. Even as an adult, I find it quite entertaining. So,
oh yeah,
definitely one to do. And the next one, again, staying with the Magic Kingdom, is the Adventures of the Little Mermaid. Have I said that right?
No, but nice try. I always get this one wrong as well. I just call it the Little Mermaid ride. I think it's actually called Under the Sea, The Tale of the Little Mermaid, or something like that.
We got there in the end. So, yeah, the Little Mermaid ride, as I probably would normally call it.
Yeah, we just call it Little Mermaid ride, or the Aerial ride. I don't even think we call it Little Mermaid. I think we call it the Aerial ride.
Well, yeah, I love this one. And you get to travel along in clamshells. So you sit in little clamshells for the ride.
It's nice. Just a nice ride.
Yeah, and it's like you have the effects of you're going under the sea, don't you, in your little clamshell. And you get to see... Flounder and all Sebastian and all these kind of characters in the ride.
You've got all the music from the film as well.
The original movie.
Oh, and the bit with Ursula as well, when she's with she got like a pot.
Yeah, she has like a cauldron.
A cauldron. And she's it's really big in that one, isn't she? She's really big, and it's a really good animatronic. And I just remember being really impressed with that bit. But that goes a bit dark then, doesn't it? So the kids might be a little bit wary of that. But on the whole, it's a really fun ride because you get, the under the sea music and Ariel kind of bopping around, looking like she's swimming.
I really like this ride for two main reasons. Number one, the air conditioning's excellent.
Oh gosh, yeah. When you walk in, and it just hits you, doesn't it? When you get in the inside
so
bit.
Good. Number two,
amazing.
Number two, never really has a particularly long line because it's an Omni-Mover type ride where they keep loading people. But it's just a classic Disney dark ride. It's got all the animatronics, all the music that you know and love, and it's just suitable for the whole family. There's no ride height restriction or anything. It's just a really good ride. I think a lot of people miss it because they just think, oh, it's for kids. Don't miss it. You're at Disney World.
Yeah. You have
it's
to go under the sea.
It's one of the most, for me, it's one of the most Disney rides at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, we always have to do that one, don't we?
Absolutely.
We don't miss it.
Okay, moving on now to another classic ride. And I'm just thinking, I've just called the last one the most Disney ride. This might be the most Disney ride at Disney. It's a Small World.
After all,
yeah, it's a Small World after all. And I know it's a bit of a meme, this ride, because the tune just gets in your head and stays in your head. But our kids just loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it every time. Nice, gentle boat ride.
It's a good sit-down ride. When you've been, trekking around all the parks all day and you just want to cool down for a bit.
Yeah, as an adult, I think...
Sit down. It's a nice, chill boat ride, yeah.
Yeah, I think you appreciate the sit-down and the air conditioning more as an adult.
Yeah.
But the tune does get stuck in your head.
It does. And also this, where they're, dancing the...
It's a really good impression, actually. If you're watching this on YouTube, Kirsty's doing some kind of, I don't know what it is.
Having some kind of seizure or something.
Yeah, she's okay. Yeah. She's fine.
Yeah.
Don't phone an ambulance. She's okay. So yeah, it's a Small World. There's nothing really to say about It's a Small World other than it's a classic slow-moving boat ride. Anyone can ride it. And apart from the tune getting in your head all day, it's a solid pick if you've got younger kids.
Yeah, it's quite long as well.
It is a long ride.
What? Every time I go on that ride, I think, I forgot how long it was because it just feels like you're in there forever. Maybe it's because the same song's going round and round and round.
It's the slow, torturous
But I do think
music.
it is a fairly long ride though. So
kids love it.
Yeah.
Kids absolutely love it. You might hate it, but just...
and you'll be singing that for the rest of the day, at least.
For the rest of the week. But yeah, the kids have loved it. They've all loved it. So It's a Small World. Solid ride.
Yeah, and next ride in the Magic Kingdom will be the Mad Hatter Tea Party ride.
That's it, yeah.
And
or just the teacups.
teacups.
Everyone just calls it teacups.
I mean, it's just a classic fairground ride, really, but it's... you
get to spin really fast on it.
And who's doing it the fastest?
You're full of the movements today.
I am, yeah. I'm immersive. You see, that's what it is.
It's the Florida t-shirt you're wearing.
It is. It's had some kind of effect on me.
It has.
So yeah, I'm in my teacup. I'm we need some kind of virtual reality, don't we, on the rides?
Ooh, virtual reality on a spinning teacup.
Virtual reality at Disney World. So it gives you your fix, you see, for when you're not there, yeah.
Well, I've done some ride-through videos in the past.
But imagine if you could actually go on the rides, though, when you're not actually there.
Well, then you'd never need to go, though, would you?
Yeah, but...
I can't see Disney doing that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of cost saving for holidays to get your fix. But anyway,
you'd have to build a full-blown virtual reality studio.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
probably more expensive than just going in it.
Okay, well, let somebody else do that. But... So yeah, I do like this ride because it's a bit of family fun, and you can get to see who can spin it the fastest and things like that.
Yeah, maybe not one to do if you just had lunch.
Yeah, maybe save it for before lunch or a bit later in the day. But yeah, I just find it really fun, and it's just something that the young ones always like to do. So
yeah, they like to try and make you sick basically by spinning it as fast as they possibly can.
Yeah, I think that was their aim. It's just to make the adults sick.
But the joke's on them because I don't get motion sick, but they do. All right, next up, again, at Magic Kingdom is going to be in Adventureland, and we're going to the Jungle Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the Jungle Cruise is fun on 2 levels. First of all, if you're an adult, you get to laugh along with the skipper's cheesy jokes.
Yeah.
Because they fly over the kids' heads lots of the time, but the adults really like them. The adults just like it because they get... the kids like it because they get to see lots of animatronic type animals. There's elephants, snakes, alligators, hippos.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, it's a slow-moving boat ride. It's not a short ride. I think it's about 10 minutes long. And there is one part in it that if your kids are scared of dark, they go in like a dark tunnel. It's like an ancient, it's supposed to be like an old Aztec ruin or something. And it has like big spiders in there, which are obviously fake. But I guess if you've got like a child who's a bit like timid about the darkness or whatever, just maybe warn them ahead of time for that bit. But other than that, it's a very gentle, not particularly fast-moving bit. It's a lot of fun.
And it's not scary when you say
no,
that.
it's not scary. I'm really I'm just making the folks aware.
Yeah, yeah.
If you've never been on it before, it really isn't frightening. Although there are spiders in there, which sounds horrendous. It's not like they're dangling down, coming to get you or anything. They're very obviously fake. They're like luminescent ones, aren't they? That are just kind of glowing at the side in a giant web and stuff. But yeah, but it's just a good ride. A lot of bit of audience participation on that one as well with the skipper. And if you get a really good skipper, then it just makes the ride. And then the nice thing is, because they do tell a lot of the same jokes, but some of the skippers will ad-lib a bit as well. And so if you get a really good skipper, it can really make that ride. But other than that, it's just all round. Again, no height requirement. It's just, the only thing is, it is quite a long ride. It's about 10 minutes. So some kids don't like sitting still, do they? Ours are all right, but you know, I know some kids get a bit fidgety on the longer rides, so just bear that in mind. It's not horrendous, but
yeah, I think it's fun because you know you're moving through, and it's a boat, isn't it? So it's and you can spot all the animals. I know Noah would love that now, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah, there's elephants in it. He's gonna love everything.
He loves animals and all that stuff. So the next one is quite a different kind of ride, but it's the People Mover at the Magic Kingdom. Yeah. And it is really just that, isn't it? It's a people mover. You move around quite fast. I always forget how fast these are.
Yeah, it's not as slow as you think, is it?
No, and you're literally kind of just going around the Magic Kingdom, aren't you?
I love the People Mover. It might be, now that Splash has gone, it might be my favourite ride at Magic Kingdom.
And you go through Space Mountain, is that correct?
Space Mountain. Yes, you do go through Space Mountain, yes.
Why did you say it like that?
It's a bit of a deep cut for anybody who remembers it, but they used to, for a little while, there was a voiceover on the People Mover. And when you went into Space Mountain, they had a really janky Mickey Mouse on there. They had like some understudy because the guy who used to do it had died. And they hadn't quite got the new person in place yet.
Oh, right, okay.
And so it was like, it's Space Mountain. But it just sounded like that. It was just ridiculous. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's a bit of a deep cut. A bit of a deep cut, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, you get to go through Space Mountain. And sometimes you even get to go through Space Mountain when they've got the lights on, which has happened to me a couple of times. I've filmed it once or twice, so you can actually see the roller coaster inside. It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
But it's a really good way to see a lot of the park, but also get a sit down for 10 minutes. And also it's quite cool because you are moving quite quickly, so you get that breeze in your face, don't you? So again, you'll notice a lot of these rides are either to do with the air conditioning or to do with staying cool. Can you tell we go in summer a lot when it's very, very hot?
You find the rides that give you the best cool down.
Yes, and
this is one of them.
It's a good one. It's a good one. So yeah, Space Mountain is a good ride for kids. It isn't. People Mover is a good ride for children because they get to see a lot as well. Because it goes over the race car ride. I forget what it's called now off the top of my head. I can't remember.
The Mickey's racetrack or whatever it is.
It's not called that at all. It's called the Tomorrowland Speedway.
That's the one.
Mickey's racetrack. Maybe they should call it Mickey's racetrack.
You know what? I've never been on that.
No, you know what? I think I've been on it once or twice. I just avoid it. It's just I don't get it.
I just can't remember now. I've been that many times. I don't remember.
Just a ride I don't get. But you get the good views of like Tron, the railroad, everything from up there. It's just brilliant. I love the People Mover. It's a nice, relaxing 10-minute sit down.
Yeah.
All right, so the next ride on our list is going to be the Prince Charming Carousel. Now, this is kind of right directly behind the castle, behind Cinderella Castle, and it never really has much of a line. And it's just a super fun carousel ride. You know, it's a classic. It's actually the oldest ride at Walt Disney World as well. Did you know that?
I didn't.
It's the oldest ride.
I know adults can stand up with the kids, can't you, on this, if they're a lot younger.
Yeah, so if you've got the little ones, you're allowed to stand at the side of the horse and kind of hold them on. They have like straps and stuff. So even like the little ones can ride it as well because you're allowed to stay with them. But it's just I find this is a good ride to do. You know, when you kind of like, to be honest, we usually ride it while we're waiting for somewhere to open for dinner or something like that, you know, because it's just kind of right there. You think, oh, I'll just jump on the carousel. It's, you know, because it hasn't got a long wait. If you just got 10, 15 minutes to kill. But it's just a good fun ride, and the kids always love it.
Yeah, it's a kids classic, isn't it? The Carousel.
It's classic,
yeah.
classic. And it is the oldest ride at Disney World.
That's cool. Cool fact.
It is. Even though it's an opening day attraction, but that's not where it started off life. It was built years prior, and it had been at 2 other theme parks before it ended up at Walt Disney World.
You're full of all the fun facts,
aren't
you?
All the boring facts.
And the next one is Goofy's Barnstormer at Magic Kingdom.
Right, so this is going to be our last ride at Magic Kingdom. That's not to say that there's other rides at Magic Kingdom that are not good for kids. As we mentioned it earlier, when we did the aerial ride, I meant to say that Haunted Mansion's a very similar system. Now, I haven't put Haunted Mansion on this list because our children were quite scared of it when they were younger.
Yeah.
But, again, you could ride Haunted Mansion.
It's a bit like the Pirates of the Caribbean, though.
A bit like Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's quite dark, isn't it? And
yes. Well, Pirates has got a drop in it as well.
Yeah, a little
which
one.
we always forget about, but then we just take our kids on a bit.
But with Barnstormer, isn't there a height limit?
Barnstormer has got a height.
It's
the only ride on this list, I think I'm right in saying, for Magic Kingdom that does have a height restriction. So Barnstormer is like a junior roller coaster. And I think you have to be 38 inches. Let me just check my notes. 35 inches, tall to ride Barnstormer. So there is a bit of a height requirement on this one, but it's a good ride if you're looking to get into roller coasters.
Yeah,
so if
like
you've got
a mini roller coaster, isn't it? Really,
and it's
very
real
quick.
Short. It's like
so quick.
It's over in like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So even if a kid hates it,
it's over quick.
It's over. It's over quickly.
It does go. It goes really fast, but it also, I mean, it doesn't go upside down, obviously, but it's boots round, and it's quite. You know, I thought it was quite fast.
No, the reason I put it on this list is because it was probably our children's first experience of roller coasters, and I think just from that little ride, you can kind of get to grips with who's going to really enjoy roller coasters and who's not really going to dig them. So like Isla, she's 11, our 11-year-old.
She loves it.
When she first went on it, she just couldn't get enough. She just wanted
it faster,
and
bigger,
faster, never end.
The biggest roller coaster ever, and very fast. Everything she's always asking: is this a fast ride? Is this a fast ride?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas Olivia, she'd ride stuff like that and be like, let's not do that again.
Yeah, so I even think that would be a bit of a stretch for Olivia because she's probably a bit better now, isn't she? But doesn't really like the big fast rides. So
she wasn't keen on Slinky Dog.
Yeah. Oh no.
Okay, we're moving over to a different theme park now. We're going to go to Epcot. So those are the 10. We did 10 rides there at Magic Kingdom. There are others, but those are the 10 that we found have been good for all our kids, basically.
Yeah.
All our kids. Over at Epcot, do you want to do this one?
So this is Frozen. Yay!
Frozen.
So it's in place in Norway.
You forgot where it was.
I did. I was going to say Sweden.
Yeah, the well-known Swedish pavilion at Norway.
Yeah. So Norway, which used to be the what's it called now? Don't tell me. It's on the tip of my tongue. Why can't I remember
she's never going to get it.
I don't want you to tell me, and it's going to come to me by the end of me talking about this. Right,
I won't tell you what it was called.
No.
I will tell you.
It nearly came to me then.
I'll tell you if you don't get it at the end.
Anyway, so it's really good, this ride, because, you know, you get to feel like you're in the Frozen movie, which is amazing. And you get Olaf, really great animatronics, but they also use a lot of... what's the word I'm looking for? Where they transfer the image onto the
projection
faces,
mapping.
Projection. So yeah, you get all the amazing features of like Anna and Elsa and Olaf. and you get to feel like part of the bit of the ride where she does the Frozen song, and you're really immersive. And
she means let it go.
Let it go. What did I say?
The Frozen song.
The Frozen song. Let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah. Why can't I think of anything today? I've still not remembered the name of it.
I'm going to tell you in a minute, but it is a really good ride. And I know when the previous ride shut, which I'm still not going to tell you at this moment in time, I'll give Kirsty a few more minutes to think about it. A lot of people were quite upset because it was a bit of a classic.
Is it Maelstrom?
Yes, you got it. When they shut Maelstrom, a lot of people were not pleased. They were like, damn you, Disney, with your bringing your IP in here, bringing your Frozen characters. But Frozen, I think it's a really good ride. Again, it's got all the music that you like, that you want. It's got all the music, the Frozen song. It's got some good animatronics. It's just a good, fun, dark ride.
Yeah, and it's a perfect place for it to be, obviously.
Spot on, lovely.
The theme of the story with Frozen, and it's just perfect. It was a perfect place to put it, wasn't it, really?
That was alliteration. It was the perfect place to put it. Perfectly planned place.
Yeah, it's perfect. So I think it's a really good ride for all the family.
Would you say it was a cool ride?
I know where you're going with that one. Yeah, it's cool.
Yes, that joke. Okay, staying on the World Showcase at Epcot, and we're going to be going for the Grand Fiesta Tour. Now, Grand Fiesta Tour is a bit like It's a Small World, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same ride, but a bit shorter and themed to Mexico because it's in Mexico. No, it is. It's one of my favourite rides. It's just, again, no height requirement, super short line, lovely theming. They've got Donald Duck in there now. They've got 3 caballeros, haven't they? They've got Jose Panchito and Donald Duck in there. So there's some screens in there that has cartoons on it, but it also has a section that's very much like Small World. It has the dancing puppets and stuff like that with a catchy tune. It's just lovely. Again, awesome air conditioning also. Right, you want to do that one?
Yeah, and the next one, they're at, I don't know where we are now. Epcot, let me start that again.
Goodness me.
The next one in Epcot is Nemo. So, Finding Nemo, and a bit like Little Mermaid, you're in a clamshell, aren't you? So, very, very similar.
Similar.
The same kind of ride where you get onto a little clamshell, a moving walkway.
Yeah. No height restriction.
Yeah.
Omni-mover.
It's just really good because you get to follow Nemo on his adventures with Dory, and you get Bruce the shark in it as well, which the kids always like, because he's a mean shark. So it's fun.
Yeah, they're all in there. All your characters.
There's a dark section though, isn't there? With the
there is that? And it's fish? An anglerfish. Yeah,
with the light hanging down. And I've been on it a couple of times when it's not been working, but when it's moving around, it's
quite loud as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so that might be a bit scary. But other than that, it's not scary.
Do you know what? I really, really enjoy the Nemo ride.
Yeah, it's really, really fun.
I really enjoy it. Again, doesn't generally have a long wait.
Yeah.
Lovely queue for that as well. Always makes me feel like, again, awesome air conditioning. Like,
we're singing that song as well.
Yeah.
At the end of
Big
the
Blue
ride.
World. Oh my God, don't get me started. There's another earworm of a tune at the end as well. But yeah, the actual queue line as well. Super fun when you go in. It's like you're like at a beach almost, and you're like on it feels like a boardwalk.
It's very dark, isn't it? Yeah.
The air conditioning is so good. And then it looks like you're under the water at one point. Like if you look up, there's like the underside of a boat on the ceiling and things like that. And it's just
yeah.
I just really like it. I just really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, and I love the bit with the turtle in it.
Crush.
Crush, yeah. It's like Crush. You go in with all the bubbles, and he's going in the, what do you call it? The
EAC.
The EAC, yeah.
Sorry, I should have let you get it.
You get all the bubbles. I can't remember anything. But yeah, it just feels like you're in a bubble tunnel, doesn't it? And it's brilliant.
It's just a lovely ride. Lovely, lovely ride. Okay, next one on this list. And it's a bit divisive, this one. But I've gone with it because my kids love it. Journey into Imagination with Figment.
Yeah, it's an old classic, really, isn't it? Yeah.
So I would say old but gold. Some people really don't like this ride.
And this ride has actually been updated since
it has like 3 times.
Yeah. Because I was looking back on some old videos of how it was originally, and it was very different. So
yeah, completely different. Right?
But yeah, I like this. It's kind of fun, really. It's just quite nostalgic as well.
Well, it's nostalgic for us, but the bottom line is the kiddos love it.
Yeah, and again, the song gets into your head, and yeah.
Imagination.
Imagination.
and on for the rest of forever. So let's not anymore. But yeah, Journey into Imagination. The kids love it.
And they love it when they get the skunk smell and you get all like...
Oh yeah, there's a stinky bit in it and the kids like that one, don't they?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's very good. Number 5
is Spaceship Earth. Yay!
Spaceship Earth.
It's just a must, isn't it? You know, you see that big golf ball. Is that like a thing you can't call it?
You're not allowed to call it a golf ball.
Right,
Don't call it a golf ball.
Okay, Spaceship Earth.
People are upset now.
And yeah, it's really fun. It's just like it's very educational as well, actually, isn't it? But I just love it, and the kids like it as well because it's a long ride and they can sit down for a bit, and you know it's interesting because there's a lot of animatronics used in this, and it's kind of you going through the ages, aren't you?
Yeah, Spaceship Earth's. This really is, you know, have you even done Epcot if you've not been on Spaceship Earth?
Yeah, I think everybody wants to do that.
But again, no height requirement.
Yeah,
it's an omni mover, so the line moves quickly because the line is boring as heck on this.
If you want to know what's at the top of that Spaceship Earth, you know, when you know the big ball, then you need to ride the ride, don't you?
Got to ride the ride. There's no other way. We're not going to tell you. We're not going to tell you. You got to ride the ride. So yeah, Spaceship Earth, super fun, little bit educational.
Yeah, it's good.
But absolute
But the
classic.
kids don't find it boring. It's nothing like that. And at the end, there's like a cartoony bit that you can kind of interact with. It's your little screen in the vehicle, and yeah, I always enjoy that.
That's had its updates over the years, hasn't it? Because of course it didn't used to have that, and we've been through this before. We were talking about it off camera. It's had a lot of different narrators over the years, hasn't it? We were trying to remember who's been on it, but I can remember Walter Cronkite and Jeremy Irons, and now it's Dame Judi Dench, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's been another. There might have been 2 more. I'm forgetting, but as far as I'm aware, I remember those 3.
But it's a great sit down, and you know you get to see.
Again, it's a sit down in air conditioning.
But you get to, but it's good though. It's really good, and it's education.
It's popular with the kiddos too, which is what we're here for. Okay, moving now to a different theme park. We're going to move to Hollywood Studios. Okay, and I'm going to say we're going to start off with alien swirling saucers, which is actually found in the Toy Story Land section of the theme park. Now, this does have a height requirement, but it is quite low. It's only 32 inches, so you do have to be at least 32 inches to ride, because it's a bit more thrilling. It's a bit like we were talking about Mad Tea Party at Magic Kingdom. It's a bit like that, but rather than... It's difficult to explain. How would you explain what it was? It's like a whip. It's like a slingshot ride almost, isn't it? Because rather than just spinning round in a teacup, the kind of ride vehicle's in 2 pieces. So it spins, but it kind of whips you around a little bit, and I think that's why it has a height requirement.
Yeah, I do remember. I remember queuing up with that, and I felt a bit faint, but I think it was just the heat was getting to me.
Yeah, because the queue for this,
that was it.
Sucks. Okay.
Yeah, if you're there when it's a hot day, yeah.
Toy Story Land, love it. Love Toy Story Land.
Queue outside,
but the queues suck. They're all outside. There's no air conditioning. You're lucky if there's a fan. And so on a hot day, if you're out there and it's 98,
I felt really faint in that queue.
Brutal.
I just remember that day. It was so hot.
Yeah, but again, it's a fun ride. Lots of fun music from the film. Good theme into the aliens from Toy Story. Got a big Buzz Lightyear outside it as well. So the kids love it, and it's thrilling enough.
Yeah,
you know, they feel like they've had a good. They feel thrilled, but they're not scared.
Yeah, and it's a fun one, isn't it? Yeah,
it's a fun one. What a fun one!
And the next ride is Toy Story Mania at Hollywood Studios.
Yes, keeping it Toy Story.
Yeah, and this is the one with the shooting ones, isn't it? Yeah,
it is.
I like it, and it's good because you get to like targets. It's good fun for adults as well, isn't it?
It's basically
a
video game, isn't it?
Yeah,
but really well themed to Toy Story, and you get to be a bit competitive with other members of your family and other people.
Yeah,
because you get a high score for the day. So if you're really good, your name goes on the leaderboard.
It's not a ride I've done often, this one, but when the
line can get a bit spicy for this one.
And when I have done it, though, I've really enjoyed it. And I've thought, why don't I do this one more often? But it's just like you say, it's sometimes quite a long line.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a fun one for everyone. So.
Yeah.
And the next one is Mickey and Minnie's Railroad. Well, I've said it wrong.
You're not good at names, are you? She knows what she means, but she can't remember the exact name. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
That's the one. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yes.
Tongue twisted.
Mickey's Railway Ride.
Yeah, that one.
The Frozen song.
Yeah. So it's a new one. And it's, I mean, I'll be honest here. I really didn't want the old one to go, the movie. The Great Movie Ride. Yeah, I really didn't want to see that.
Favorites.
Again, it's probably because I've been on it since when I first went to Florida when I was 11.
It's always been there, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's always the one you want to go on just to kind of for old time's sake, and I've always enjoyed it. So I really didn't want to see that go. But this is good, and I think it's better for the younger ones. You know,
I mean, look. We're still talking about Who's Looking at You, Kid, and stuff like that in the Great Movie Ride, which I loved. I thought it was brilliant. You know, Indiana Jones.
But it is...
Which was like my childhood.
Hollywood Studios, so you kind of... It was very...
Yeah, but this is Mickey Mouse.
Well, exactly, yeah. You're in Disney.
I mean, it's Disney, Hollywood Studios. I mean, Mickey Mouse is what started the whole thing, right?
Exactly, yeah. So it's good. And I know these things have to be updated.
It gets a bit of hate, this ride, because I think mainly because people are super salty that they got rid of the Great Movie Ride, you know. And although I love the Great Movie Ride dearly, this is better for kids.
Yeah. Because it was quite long, wasn't it, the Great Movie Ride?
Yeah, it's like 23 minutes. And it's slow moving. This is the opposite. There's lots more going on. There's huge screens. It's loud, bright. There's always something happening. There's funny jokes. It's just, for kids, it's a better ride. There's no height requirement either. I mean, there wasn't on the Great Movie Ride, obviously, but you know, so it's just another ride that the kids can do and enjoy, and I think it's more relevant to the younger generation, because a lot of the movies in Great Movie Ride, I mean, if you're younger than I'm 42, and if you're younger than me, a lot of the movies in the Great Movie Ride really wouldn't mean anything to you.
Exactly, yeah.
So
no, it's definitely a good one for kids to go on as well. So it's a bit of fun for them.
Good ride, a little bit controversial, that one, but I think it's a good ride for especially for the younger ones. Okay, should we move over to Animal Kingdom now? Mm-hmm. Okay, do you want to start?
And the first one will be the Navi River Journey, which is part of Avatar Land.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love it. You know, it's quite a slow moving one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're on a boat and you can feel like you're part of Avatar, can't you? It's very immersive, like you're in Avatar Land, and you know you see the what do you call the Navi people? Yeah. Are they even people?
Well, they're aliens, aren't they? Navi, aren't they?
Navi,
they're not people. They're Navi. I think it gets a little bit of undue. It gets a bit of hate, this ride, because people say, "Well, it's boring. It's just a boat ride," and it's boring. But like, if you're a little kid, there has to be something. You've done this so that it's much more inclusive, because obviously Flight of Passage, you got them height requirements, much more thrilling ride. You know, the little ones, they just can't ride it.
Yeah,
so they had to do something. I think it's a decent boat ride. I know there's a lot of screens. It uses a lot of screen technology, which a lot of people really hate. They'd rather see animatronics. And this has only really got one animatronic, but it's a hell of an animatronic.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
The Navi Shaman towards the end of the ride is like next level animatronic.
Yeah.
It's
and again,
super good.
You'll be singing that song all day.
I'm not going to do it now.
Ah-hey-wah, ah-hey-wah, ah-hey-wah.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for that. Thank you for that. I think we should just move on from the Navi riverboat journey. But yeah, it's a fun one. It's good for the kids. Unless you are one of our kids, Isla, the one who we said wants everything to go fast. She thought it was boring. So if you've got like a speed freak of a kid, then maybe not the Navi.
My one memory of that ride, though, was in the queuing up, and this kid was being sick. And so it was just like, we just trying
Presumably not because they'd been on Navi.
No, because this was, well, maybe they'd just come off the other ride, I don't know. But yeah, this kid was being sick. I'm just trying my best to stay away from it. I thought, I'm not getting a stomach bug on this holiday. Yeah. I'm not catching a stomach bug.
So thanks for ruining this for everybody who's listening.
Sorry about that.
Right, next thing I want to talk about at Animal Kingdom, and it's going to be the Kilimanjaro Safari.
Oh, yeah.
It's the main, you go into Animal Kingdom, as we've said before, you want some animals.
And they're real animals as well.
You're going to see real animals. It's a real, obviously, it's a real safari in as far as you get in an actual truck. It's not on tracks or anything like that. It's a petrol-powered vehicle with an actual driver who is really driving it.
You're actually going on a safari, really, aren't you? Because you're going to see
albeit
real animals.
Albeit a Disney safari.
Yeah.
And it's a really good ride. The only thing I would say with this one is that obviously the animals are not guaranteed because they're animals. The other thing is this ride is quite long. So if you've got little fidgety kids or ones who need the toilet every 4 minutes, just be aware that this ride is on the long side. I don't know how long exactly it is, but I feel it's like 25 minutes. It's a good long ride, isn't it? Mm. The safari is not a short ride. So, in fact, let me just check my notes. I might have it on here. 22 minutes long. There you go. I said it was about 25 minutes. It's 22 minutes long, so it's not a short ride.
Yeah, but you can't beat it really because you're in Animal Kingdom. You want to kind of feel that safari vibe, so it's a perfect ride to do. And with the little ones, they love it. Yeah, because they get to see lots of real animals. So
yeah, and there's loads of fun stuff there. We're only doing rides here because I feel like we should also mention, of course, that there are lots of, we haven't touched in this one. We're just doing rides in this podcast. We haven't touched on shows and stuff like that because obviously at all the parks there are.
Yeah, there's so much for young ones.
There's so much for younger ones. We're literally talking about if they want to get on something and go on a ride. Some
people really don't like the idea of taking younger children, but there is lots for them to do. It's just,
well, we haven't even we've put together here a list of how many things we put on here, 20 30 items.
You'd still be busy even though you've got younger children,
and this isn't all of them.
But also you've got to keep in mind that they're very good with doing child swap, so
they'll swap your kid out for a better one.
No, that's not how child swap works.
No, it's not.
But so you get to ride the kind of more thrilling rides where there obviously is a height restriction. So you'll get to take turns and you won't have to queue twice. So.
Yeah, they try to accommodate everybody, don't they?
So they're really good like that. So everyone can be entertained.
So finally, do you want me to do? You do this one because we've been doing one each, haven't we? This is the final thing on our list.
Yeah, the final one is the Triceratops spin.
So. Remember Dumbo?
Yeah, it's
all the way at the back of this.
Like that,
it's basically the same ride, but you're on a Triceratops. Olivia, who is 9 now, when she was little, when she was like 4, she freaking loved this ride.
I know, she really did, and she, it. I think she probably still would now. I
think it's the music because this has obviously Dumbo has kind of Dumbo-esque music. This has kind of like just tons of just fun music, super copyrighted music, but
am I right in thinking as well that you get to control whether you go up and down?
Well, you do on Dumbo.
Oh, you do, yeah.
It depends where you sit.
Right, okay.
Because if you're in the back, you control how high or low you go, and I think if you're in the front on Triceratops spin, I'm not sure on Dumbo, you get to change the pitch of the Triceratops, so you can kind of like, if you're clever, you can kind of get it to go like this kind of motion as it goes round, which we've tried to do many times and failed. But it's a lot of fun. And it's another ride that the smaller people,
especially because it's in the dinosaur land. Because obviously there's the dinosaur ride, which
which has got high requirements.
Yeah, and
stuff.
It's also quite scary for very little ones. So
it's a bit dark and scary, isn't it?
You couldn't go on anyway.
But it's not really one for the little kiddos.
Yeah, so but if they love dinosaurs as like our little boy does, it's perfect.
Yeah, because he couldn't. He's not tall enough to ride dinosaur, but he could go on the Triceratops.
Yeah, I think he'd also find that quite scary. If I'm honest.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't.
If he was allowed to go on it now, I think he would be terrified. So although he does love dinosaurs.
It is loud dinosaur, isn't it? So yeah, Triceratops spin, certainly a good ride for the kiddos. Yeah. So there you go. Although that list is by no means exhaustive, those are the rides that our children have done and have really enjoyed over the years at Walt Disney World. And I think if you have got little ones and you just do the rides that were on that list, they'd have a great time. But just be aware, there are other things to do. Of course, we didn't touch on it in this podcast, but you've, of course, got meet and greets, you've got shows. There's tons of extra stuff that you can do with kiddos. So there's a lot to do for little ones, so don't be put off. So that's it, guys. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the podcast, and we will see you next week.
Bye.